Okay? Now we got the bad season of Total Drama out of the way. Now I'm going to get to what was surprising season of Total Drama. And of course, that is the Ridonculous race, which is also one of the best seasons of Total Drama. Like, it actually might be debated to actually being actually the best season actually of Total Drama. And I never thought I would say that, but that's because it's actually probably the most consistent Total Drama season. Where it's one of those seasons where I don't think it's actually like a true bad low point. I don't think there's like a true like bad moment or a bad episode or or a bad storyline here. It gets fairly consistent. Obviously, some bad others, obviously, but it's one of the few Total Drama seasons. I won't say there isn't like a downright bad episode. Like even the worst episode, I will still say is a good episode. Like that's just some way that this could be the best Total Drama season ever. And honestly, maybe it should actually. Like it actually is some debate actually. I might actually debate that, but I'll let you know by the end of the video. We'll see about that. So let's talk about a surprisingly great season of Total Drama with the Ridonculous race. I'll start off with the part 2 part premiere, None Down, 18 to Go, which I thought was actually a pretty good premiere episode and delivers what you can expect from this season. Also, the seasons get a little more interesting when the teams end up more interacting with each other, not just the teams themselves, but also with other teams. But we still get Britain when we introduce ourselves to the teams where we got, and we're getting a few people in Total Drama. Like, we get Jeff here with his best friend Brody. We get Noah and Owen, who were obviously trying to get on with the character not just from World Tour, which honestly makes sense. And for some reason, we get Leonard from Cocktail Island, being with his friend Tammy, who are loppers. Like of all the people who told Drama, you end up picking Tammy, and I mean, you end up picking Leonard. I think it also got players introduce you like Carrie Devon, where they kind of hint that pretty much throughout the entirety of their run that Carrie has always had a crush on Devon. Carrie always had a crush on Devon throughout most of their lives. For for that's their first man, honestly, but obviously they're much more best friends. And Devon has a girlfriend named Shelly who he kind of hints that he actually doesn't she actually doesn't treat him very well. I guess Ken doesn't really see that much, so yeah. We also introduced MacArthur and Standers, and of course MacArthur ends up becoming a prominent character in the drama, and also appeared in an episode of the All Drama reboots. The Ice Dancers, Chocolate Rose, who you can clearly tell are going to be like the main villains for this season, but at least the more fun villains, and they definitely embrace their villainy like so well. You got the Goths, Crimson, and Union, who, and why they're like so monotone with their voices, is so makes it so hilarious. Honestly, you get people like these tennis rivals, JMP, geniuses, vegans, fashion bloggers, there's Mon and Dark. That Taylor's not really kind of one of the worst. Taylor, who's about the definition of a brand character. Jay and Mikey, who end up having like so much wrong with them, it's kind of insane they're on the race in the first place. Sharon and Lenzo, who based on stepbrothers, who end up being forced in race together to try to get along. Father and son, Wayne Jr., and daters who end up becoming haters, Ryan and Stephanie. And also sisters, Emma and Kitty, and all that's like, yeah, it's definitely a lot. Teams, and I think they do a pretty good job with juggling most of them. I mean, obviously, there are some that get more screen time than others, but they're not fun interacting with each other. Then means fun challenging moments. Again, you also got a new host actually in Dawn, who surprisingly ends up becoming a pretty good host actually. Doesn't have like the mean streak Kristen Clan, honestly. Honestly, he's just a very calm, chill guy, and he has some very fun one-liners throughout the season. He's actually a very charming host. Honestly, I wouldn't mind to actually see him again at some point, if I'm being honest. If he had to get like a Ridonculous 2 at some point. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about this episode, but it's still a pretty good premiere episode. And then we get to episode 3, which is called French is an Art Language. And all the Young Race is like I mentioned, is kind of a parody of The Amazing Race, where you get a lot of things that are kind of similar to The Amazing Race, like, the roadblocks for basically one team has to do like a certain thing once, and then the team member has to do it, and of course the detour where they do different tasks and all that stuff. And it has very similar stuff to The Amazing Race, obviously just main different, obviously. But again, another good episode. Again, Ice Dancers having again some more fun moments. Again, little hints. I still like the whole like Ryan, Stephanie, and Stephanie be like, kind of a hothead at times. And the only notable thing about this episode is that basically Noah ends up eating the cheese. Well, basically Noah, when Noah ends up eating the cheese wheel, and it almost gets them eliminated, and then the Ten's rivals end up being the last team to arrive, and they end up arguing with Dawn about the whole thing. So again, that episode is not, again, to be honest, I don't have much to say about the earlier episodes, at least the first 5 or 6 episodes, while the Noble Moments. Again, like I mentioned before, I think the season more stands out when the teams start more interacting with each other, then I'll probably have more to say, but otherwise, another good episode. And there's definitely one of those total drama seasons that I would say, but I don't think it's like a true bad episode. So I'll definitely give props on that. And then we get to episode 4, Meridian Homesick Blues. And that episode I don't really have a lot to say about. But of course, it continues on with the storylines about everything that storylines about what goes on, the back and forth between Dwayne and Junior, Chuck and Jose's villainous ways, and again, despite how they actually end up being really fun villains for a majority of the run. I always liked it that when they don't reach first, Jose ends up like overreacting, ends up destroying a lot of stuff, which is again is pretty hilarious. Honestly, but again, still got a lot of back and forth people on the teams, again, still hitting storylines, and the geniuses and the geniuses who are probably one of the more forgettable total drama teams, if I'm being honest. Well, I'll probably some of the most forgettable total drama players, if I'm being honest. And they're being too into solving a math problem, they get eliminated. So yeah, still a good episode though. And now we get to episode 5, the broken telephone line. I don't know how to pronounce that, man. I apologize again. To keep on carrying on a lot of storylines that are killing prominent for most of the characters. The vegans end up actually eating meat to get ahead, and then they end up getting last, and then one basically ends up losing on Don because like I eat animals for nothing. It's also the first of the $1 million elimination legs, which is also another common thing with the Amazing Race. Again, I'm not really surprised they end up doing a lot. Thankfully, they don't like ruin the pacing or anything. So I mean, there definitely might be some that better than others, but thankfully they don't like totally drag down the season. Honestly, like maybe they should make like 26 episodes, but except for that, no, I say it's going to the bottom, but it's still a good episode. I also get some pretty hilarious moments with Kelly trying to punish Taylor, and then Taylor's like, "You're not boss to me." And now we get to episode 6, which is called Brazilian Rainforest. That was like a little toss, honestly. And this also kind of starts hitting more the teams more interact with each other. And usually, when that happens, teams will interact with other teams. And that, honestly, I think when the season really starts to pick up, honestly. Not to say the almost were bad, honestly. They're just good, but I think the season starts becoming great and amazing when that starts kicking off. And this guy's an episode I don't really have too much to say about. Again, Douglas ends up winning first. Again, a lot of back and forth between line players, and then the vegans end up wishing first, end up get 3-minute penalty, and they end up getting eliminated when all the teams just flow right in. Which again, is kind of hilarious if you think about it, but again, I'm probably gonna bring up about the last couple episodes. I think episode 7 though, a Tisket, a Casket, I'm gonna blow a Casket really kicks off the season and really makes the season so great. Like this whole season that hits out the whole like Noah and Emma relationship. Also again, Noah, I think this is probably the most standout Noah's ever been as a character. And again, for good reason, because obviously Noah's been kind of more underutilized in his last 2 appearances, but this is probably the longest he's ever been on the show, and you get a lot of his like stocky one-liners and his constant back and forth with Owen, which is again pretty charming and hilarious, and you really do smile whenever they're on the screen together. And you know it's like snarky one-liners is just so hilarious, and I like to get a little more of a human storyline, like him having a crush on someone, which is of course not the most like shocking thing ever, but it's just very nice. It is something a little more interesting to know than him just being like the snarky character. Honestly, and into that, and again, you still get that one-liners here. Again, you get more interactions with basically Tom and Jen, the fashion bloggers, who I didn't mention much at this point. That's because they didn't really have much to do, due to the moments. When they end up fighting basically over who started their blog. And of course, this kind of really kicks off, the whole hater storyline with Ryan and Stephanie. I think this one, they become really more standout characters, because they're more just like, they're kind of hints of Stephanie being a hothead. This really kicks in this episode. Really end up being eliminated. it also gets the latest moments with the Goths as well, and other characters, and the Ice Dancers, the Police Cadets, that's in the Step Brothers. Also, the Step Brothers are also pretty underrated, hilarious characters on the show, honestly. And again, the flashbacks, because of the whole fight, ends up getting them eliminated. So yeah, definitely going top so far. Definitely going top of the list. And then we get to Hawaii Honey Ruin, which is another hilarious episode. This also continues on the storyline of Carrie having a crush on Devin. Storyline, which is pretty much prominent throughout most of the season, honestly. And technically never gets like timing or anything. And you actually do really want her to admit it and want them to get together, actually. Actually, but because they just thought that all ends up preventing it and everything. Not just Big Devin and Gopher, but also just other stuff in general. But it's maybe not an issue. So it ends up being a pretty hilarious one, with a lot of very charming moments with characters, like in the Ice Dancers, the Surfer Dudes actually in first place, all that stuff. And Dawn having to play for one-liners. Again, continuing on with the whole Noah having crush on kids, where Noah ends up not being as snarky as he used to be, and I love that Owen thought Noah was dying and was saying, Noah's dying! When Noah was actually being nice and friendly. Which again was pretty hilarious. Noah's dying! Like, oh my god. Oh my god, and of course you get one of my favorite moments of the season where basically, throughout the season, basically Taylor says, kind of hints that Taylor actually has a lot of medals and won a lot of stuff. But it kind of hints that she didn't actually win those stuff and wasn't actually. So then her mom actually goes, "You never won anything in your life, Taylor. Never. Get that by a trophy store." He paid Coach a lot, and he paid home because of how much money he has. And like I said, how money. When you have no cash, you can bake anything. And I was like, the Colts were hot, but that was cold. And it ends with Ryan and Stephanie getting eliminated, and Ryan actually breaking up with Stephanie. And this is kind of starting there being the hater storyline. Like, again, overall, consistently hilarious episode. Again, another episode that's going at the top of the list. And one last one, 9. Hello in Dubai is not as good as the last two episodes we'll talk about. It's still not a really good episode. The continues on pretty much the storylines for the season, where Taylor still realizing the fact that, that all she went through was not like, all successes were actually, not her successes and not what she actually did. And also the storyline that basically Chuck and Jose ended getting forked in some legs and realized that might actually be cursed, but turns out the good luck something they end up finding in Hawaii and it's actually cursing them. Which again, pretty hilarious, but it's just some pretty hilarious moments from them. And I'll get to when the Emma and Noah romance, which ends becoming a prominent thing from a lot of the season. But there's a storyline I actually don't mind actually. I actually really like it actually. It's actually one of the most sweetest romance of the entire show, if I'm being honest. And again, ends with basically Taylor getting eliminated, with Kelly constantly trying to discipline her and not working. And it's like, good riddance, Taylor. Good riddance. And again, gets some more hilarious moments between all the characters that makes it still a pretty fun episode all around. Probably going above the last two, I would say. And the next episode, New Jane, is also another pretty solid episode. Again, it's another non-elimination episode. And again, seeing Noah basically trying to awkwardly flirt with Emma is pretty hilarious. And just so charming and just so oh my god. And again, it's great too on the hater storyline with Ryan and Stephanie, when Ryan actually has some pretty hilarious moments. There's nice back and forth, getting to with a lot of storylines for the season, a lot of great back and forth, and then of course you get some pretty fun moments of Rock and Spud, where basically one of them tries to influence the other, but it doesn't end up working. They end up being last, but they end up not getting eliminated. So yeah, not much to say about this episode either, but it's still not a good one. Again, we're talking about the season, even the episodes I don't have much to say about are still pretty good episodes. And then we have episode 11. I love Ridonculous World, which is, I'm gonna say this episode is going top of the list so far. It's honestly one of my favorite episodes of the season, honestly. I've very consistently on this episode. Having characters have more stand-up moments. Again, I'm a lot more with Emma and Noah storyline, and with Kate constantly Emma to tell him that you like him. Tell him! Tell him! Tell him! Tell him! Which is pretty hilarious. And then you see the Goths actually being look at the gods actually seeing each other on gods, which is pretty hilarious. And they're having more like scary outfits, which is also again pretty hilarious throughout. He also has the whole air guitar challenge, which ends up being pretty hilarious. Where basically Rocket's bud go from last race to end up being first. First, where again they thought that when we're still dealing with Savannah, but he ends up like killing it and all that stuff. And he gets to play one last podcast as well. Again, John securing the 4th place finish, realizing that the thing was cursed. Time, Jay and Mickey probably having the more stand-up moments. And actually was going to win the challenge, have Noah and Owen be eliminated, but Emma ended up getting to her head and he ended up like flipping out. And then Noah ends up winning the challenge. They're like, ah. And he also gets some pretty touchy moments between him and Owen throughout the episode, and then Jay and Mickey end up being eliminated. So yeah, definitely going on top of the list. Then we get to episode 12, My Way or Zimbabwe, which ended up being one of the most hilarious episodes of the season, honestly. I think most because the one goes on when, John and Jose end up going to Hawaii to try to do that, and then, of course, the list ended up being the last. I mean, unfortunately, it's not an elimination, but still, it's pretty hilarious. Pretty hilarious. I think it's some of the most hilarious moments between Dwayne and Jr., some of the back and forth between all the characters. Again, I know I don't have too much aside from those portions, but it's definitely but it's definitely still a really great episode that's really delivers on the humor alone. And then we get to another fan favorite episode of the season, The Shawshank Redemption. I hope I pronounced that. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but yeah, it's actually another elimination episode. Like, it's really hard. But watching next episode kind of makes sense of there being 2 eliminations in a row. But surprisingly, this ends up being my favorite. It's as of right now my favorite. I don't remember any season ends up like topping this, but it's the episode I've watched the most throughout the season. Mostly because it takes on a lot of storylines. We're going to carry Devin. Carrie's still trying to make her love to Devin. But then when that phone call home, that's a award for the challenge, so you can call Shelly. And then they also choose the boomerang, which is basically kind of like the U-turn in the Amazing Race, but basically you could use it to have another team basically redo the challenge. I mean, the Amazing Race is kind of basically just doing the other detour, but it's just in general redoing the challenge. And then you tease on the rivalry with I think that's kind of fishy. Such a rivalry between like the cadets and ice dance ends up becoming a great rivalry in general. We're basically saying that trying to twist Quantum Dash doesn't help, but she realizes that they end up being jerks and never playing that woman again. And then they end up boomeranging each other to do the challenge, which gives a pretty hilarious moment. And there's also we see Sharon and Len, so actually realize, oh yeah, we have a lot in common. Again, that moment they realize that's hilarious. Like, did we just stop hitting each other? God, we need a mirror. And then the best friends win the challenge. Devin tries to call Shelly and realizes that, and then that Shelly actually broke up with Devin to date her tennis instructor. And then again, the cadets end up being last, but again, not elimination like. But yeah, definitely going on top of the list. And then we get to Down and Out. To now it's the last one, but it's still another pretty fun episode. Again, here's the one. I don't know if I said that, but it does continue on. We'll basically see John and Jose end up winning first again, and then we see the Ice Dancers end up getting first again. Oh, God. Again, continue on the rivalry between them and Pizza Cadets. A lot of great fun moments, especially between the surfer dudes and the father and son, and just again, also you get some really fun challenging moments, and then this moment ends up ending with double elimination league, where basically Chad Lorenzo, who I kind of wish they had most great time with them getting along, because the short time we had where they actually getting along was actually pretty hilarious. And then the Rockies end up getting eliminated. Again, I don't have too much to say about, but it's still not a good episode. Again, some episodes I might not have a lot to say about, but doesn't mean they're bad episodes. It's just how it is. But and he also gets some pretty hilarious moments where basically them trying to go for the 5 stages of grief with Shelly, which is going to be the kind of trend in the next few episodes, which honestly it's kind of hilarious. Honestly, must cut down his reactions to everything. So yeah. And then we get to Mari or Less, which is another pretty episode that basically has Dwayne trying to actually be cool for his son, honestly, and then trying to act cool and everything, and then which kind of honestly is kind of the storyline of this season. him trying to be like actually a cool person to his son. So then Angel's like, "You'll never be cool, and it will be," and then, but at least they have some pretty heartwarming moments by the end of the episode. And of course the MLK realization that, hey, maybe having a lunch with no Owen's probably not gonna help us in the long run, because they kind of almost went to last place, honestly, because of everything. And even Kate ends up, Boo was the one that ended up pushing Emma to go with her, and she ended up realizing it. And realizing that, at least Emma ended up breaking up with Noah, when Noah's reaction to it was just like, oh, heartbreaking. Which leads to out to your pros being last, but he ended up got Noah actually. So yeah, another solid episode. And next episode, basically, too, when the storylines of what happened in that episode when Noah's still very distraught about the whole Emma situation. And you get like a lot of back and forth, like Jeff and Brody have some of the more fun moments, and a lot, especially with the place of death, and of course, you get some just unintentionally hilarious moments sometimes. Honestly, it leads to the father and son being eliminated, and then Emma and Noah end up working things out. Again, it's not what I don't have too much to say about it. And of course, seeing Dev and still go for that was still pretty hilarious. Again, that's like leaves off after him going through the 5 stages of grief, which again is pretty hilarious. But as a whole, another solid episode. And then we have the Lord of the Ring Toss, which definitely has some of the best moments around Stephanie, where they end up actually getting a boomerang, and then they actually the better one to do, and then Stephanie gets so frustrated, she has a boomerang Ryan and her own teammates, and they unintentionally boomerang themselves. And then we see the Ice Dancers try to like trick the Observer dudes, but they're gonna get in first, and then when he gets second, they're like bashing like Don Snowman, Billy, which is again, that's always so good, hilarious. And then yes, so right before again, Devin having some pretty hilarious moments, again, him still going through great moments as well. And Ryan and Stephanie end up getting last again, brilliant on a mission. So yeah, consistently hilarious sense of premise. Definitely gonna be, this episode being very consistently hilarious ends up putting it much higher in this ranking. And now we have Got Venom, which I don't know, it's an episode I don't also have too much to say about, but it's not consistently hilarious episode. Again, seeing Devin still seeing what's going through is pretty hilarious. Again, the Goth being first, and then not having much reaction to it's always pretty hilarious. Honestly, and you get a lot back and forth between like Jeff and Brody and of course Hunter Sanders. And then Owen ended up fortunately being last place, and they're like awesome run on the season, honestly. And notice snarkiness, of course, Owen is also one of the most lovable characters in the entire show, so anyone who wants to Owen's always hilarious and awesome. And it ends with Noah and Emma having their first kiss, so yeah, good stuff. And then we get to Dude Buggies, which kind of culminates the whole storyline about Devin feeling grief, and then Carrie realizing that Devin might not actually be the guy they thought he was, and we get kind of road roasted what actually Devin actually ends up being in love with Carrie when he realizes that Carrie. Basically, I just the best person, like, I love her? Oh my god, yes, I love Carrie. At the same time, Carrie realizes, oh yeah, maybe the whole thing there is not going to work out, and he might just give up, which it's kind of heartbreaking to really think about it. But again, you get some pretty hilarious moments involving all that. Again, the Goths got me first again. The Ice Dancers being Ice Dancers. And then Carrie down and being last, but also being a mission like. Like I always done, like, has like some ways like, you're last. But unfortunately, it's not a mission leg. And then I was like, I realized that. Did you realize it's not a mission leg? Because it is. Yeah, Don also has some very hilarious moments throughout the entire show like that. So yeah, another good episode. And we do Ella Bug Supreme. I'm gonna have like 6 minutes to go, so I hope you'll enjoy the video. Feel free to hit the like and subscribe button if you guys want to see more content like this, and let me know your thoughts on all episodes, top out, and your own ranking down below in the comment section. But yeah, another really good episode. Again, the only great this season, I don't think there's any like true low points or bad episodes, which is honestly kind of a total drama if you really think about it, but it's some of the most consistent total drama season. And obviously some episodes that are better than others, but even the worst episodes, one like I say, are still pretty good. They just don't have like many standout moments. And I guess like kind of similar to say with this one, we're gonna gloss them to get eliminated. Again, all kind of starts the penalties that I say at the beginning in like the next few episodes. But yeah, still get some pretty hilarious moments, some great back and forth, continuation of storylines. So yeah, it's another good one. And I guess kind of same thing with canoodling, which has teams that are being in pairs in ways, and we got one team that being like first place, and three members being first place, and then Jeremy and Brody end up like giving up their time on the slot to help carry Devin, which is kind of unfortunate, but it definitely ends up like continuing on of course, a little bit in a later episode, which I'll get into. But again, no episode I don't have much to say about, but again, still has latest moments, still has great back and forth. Again, point and the episode I can always see myself come back to, and just it puts a big grin on my face, and some of the dudes are always just so fun to watch. So yeah, good episode. But out these lows is another pretty good episode. Actually, one of the more underrated episodes of Total Drama, honestly. And of course, this episode basically realized that, hey, McCarthy might be a bit too in your face and might be a bit too harsh sometimes. And just kind of realized that, so it ends up accidentally breaking his arm, unfortunately. Of course, starts seeing like Emmett Gay trying to form alliance with Carrie and Devin. Devin would be hesitant at first, but then decided to go for it as well. You get Ice is going to get another penalty, which gets pretty last. They're like, what do we do? We don't deserve this. But he ended up getting first anyway. The Cats end up getting last place, and despite his broken arm, they end up continuing the race. So yeah, consistently hilarious and a very charming episode throughout. And then we get Don Gel with it, which is another pretty good episode. You know, we see Devin trying to absolutely admit his love for Carrie, saying, I love this, I love that, and honestly, and then him actually saying he loves her to Carrie Devin, and of course keep like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And it's like, what kidding me? And then he has like basically admitting it to him while they're trying like, Then realize, oh shit, she's been loving me all this time? And then we get some pretty back and forth moments. Again, despite what also Ryan and Stefan not actually fully getting back together. That's actually being first, but then getting 1 hour penalty due to get rid of half the train. Like seriously, you die when there's the rest of the train is missing. And finding out that the Ice Protector were close to be eliminated, but again, Ryan having like a touching moment with Stephanie in the last seconds, and at least they'll get eliminated. So yeah, definitely going high up on the list. Only 3 episodes to go where we have Last Tango and Buenos Aires, which again is another pretty good episode. Again, I'm surprised that I totally forget how consistent this show actually is. And it ends up being a culmination of a couple storylines, especially the Carrie Devin storyline where Devin actually admits it, feels that they finally get together. Then it gets back and forth with moments of the rivalry between the cadets and the Ice Dancers, which I don't think I mentioned too much in this ranking, but it's a rivalry I actually genuinely love, honestly. Mostly because they have different personalities and their one-liners are back and forth throughout. And the episode ends with basically Carrie Devin actually being third, but then accidentally Carrie's Mew ends up knocking Devin off the cliff, and he ends up being totally injured, so he end up leaving the race in the final 4. Also ended in an elimination like Emma Kitty, and then they end up bringing back the Civic Dudes, who know the rule that any team as America eliminated the final 4 must bring a previously eliminated team to bring back. And considering that also the Civic Dudes end up sacrificing themselves for Carrie Devin, they end up bringing it back, which is like, yeah, so even one guy was like, whoa, the stuff is awesome. So it was like, yes. Yes, so yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about the whole way the Carrie Devin going on, but honestly, it's kind of unfortunate that the story ends up ending the way it does. But overall, it's still a good episode. 2 episodes left of this season. Now we have Ba'arama, which again, kids on the story where I don't have episodes much to say about, but it's still a pretty hilarious episode with Emma Kay unfortunately the last person. Also, I love Emma Kay in this season. Again, pretty awesome thing. Kay ends up becoming. Kay is a pretty hilarious, quirky character that I absolutely love. Seeing the celebrities back is pretty great as well. And I like the fact that Carter actually ends up saying Jose, but then Jose ends up like backstabbing her. And Carter's like, how could you do that? I saved your life! So yeah, don't much to say about this episode as a whole, but it's still not good. It's still a pretty good penultimate episode. And now we finally get to the last episode, A Million Ways to Lose $1 Million, which might be in the debate of being my favorite finale in all Total Drama. So I'm gonna say it's topping this list. It's an epic, crazy, awesome finale. It goes on all the main storylines of the season, and again, basically super to one of the most charming latest seasons. This is about the most that also Jeff has also stood out as a character. Not as he did in the previous seasons, but it's the most like joy and fun that he is, and most standout he's ever been as a character. The relationship of Rory definitely helps that as well. I love the Blazer deaths as well, and that they've been pretty latest throughout. And the Isaacs have been like great villains to deal with, to love to hate. And of course, you get what probably in that what's in the big with Heather and Total Drama Island as the most satisfying very lost in all total drama. As of course, we see like Jabba being one first in the first showdown, and then the tip button, and then the tip ends up falling away, and then Fred is using her broken arm to get it, which is pretty badass. And then like gets second place, and then Einstein ends up being last. No! And we get done like Einstein, trying to say, I'm sorry. It took me so long to say this. You're cut from the competition. Where Russia took it well, then Jose ends up getting so upset, she ends up like breaking everything. And again, the defeat is just so satisfying. Probably the most, again, still probably been the most satisfying film movie in all total drama, for being honest. And again, get the base stats and service. And again, this is one of those things where, again, this also might be the last season of total drama where they do have alternate endings, because, spoiler when you get to the reviews, they actually don't have alternate endings, actually. And this is definitely a debate where, like, I don't really know which one I would pick, honestly. Like, I think what if the cadets not win or the silver dudes not win, I'm actually fine with either one, actually. I don't know which I would prefer. I guess I would kind of maybe go with the servers, but I'm fine with the police cadets anyway. So yeah, finale definitely going at the top list. And mostly when we get to overall episode ranking, this is actually my favorite finale, because that's actually one of finale that's kind of debate, but this definitely is debated being the best finale in all of total drama. And my thoughts on total drama, the Ridonculous race, which honestly might be in the maybe in the best season of total drama. Again, I know there are some episodes I didn't have too much to say about, but of all total drama seasons, this is probably the most consistent total drama season. Spoiler, even when you get to my season 1 reboot, that at least like one bad episode, which you know what I'm talking about. But every episode here, even the bottom episodes, I would say it's still pretty good, or just good in general. This is like might be the most consistent total drama season. Not much it doesn't have like that one moment that's like still stand out, or that terrible bad moment. Like it might be like a couple of uninteresting or bad characters, but you know they're like so many good stuff that they kind of don't bring it down at all. Like it's a generally a consistent season. I think if I eventually do an update regular total drama seasons, I actually might debate this being the best total drama season, honestly. Again, experience also kind of being amazing, right? It's kind of surprising, actually. I'm pretty sure why people are debating for another Ridonculous season, which I do hope it gets some point down the road. But yeah, this is easily the most consistent total drama season with great teams, hilarious standout moments, great character moments, and surprising eliminations even as well. So, yeah, the perfect package.